Right, so I just thought I'd have a couple of hours before bedtime. And I'm going to cut all the foam off which I'd sprayed between the sheets. Oh, missed a gap there, I'll get that next time. But you can see the foam. So I'm going to trim all that off with my trusty trimmer. I like these blades which have the long knife, because you can just get in at a nice angle. Better than a standing knife blade, in my opinion. So I'm going to trim all them off. And then all this 2x2 gets counter battened underneath. 400 centres. And then I've got 50mm insulation goes between all that and all my electric cables and things like that. So I'm going to get on with it. That's all there is to it. All I want to do is trim it below these. That's all. That's all there is to it. It's easy as that. So I shouldn't say it's easy. God, it's bloody hard, is this, and difficult. So I'm going to crack on and get it done. Right, so I've trimmed all my insulation. I've just got I've got a joint somewhere there I didn't do. So I'll use that next time I get my foam gun out. I love this scaffolding. How that just fits in there. Anybody who knows what it's like working on a scaffold tower, I'm able to get 13-foot boards on here, and it's not effortless, but it's so much easier. Just wheel it around on my wheels. So I've got counter battens to go on, which I can put on there now while I'm going to get set out. So I'm going to start setting them out on that angle, and then I'll twang me chalk lines across so I know where to put them, and then put them on. Bloody thing, man. So there'll be one in the bottom corner to carry the plasterboard. There'll be one on the top edge of the slope to carry the plasterboard, and then they'll be at 400 centres. Easy. Don't think I showed you me foam gun when we're foaming up. So that's it, that's got gun cleaner in it at the moment. But it's so much easier and cleaner than using a tin of foam upside down, what you can't control. You can control the pressure what comes out of this and how much foam comes out, and make sure you get gun grade foam, but you don't waste as much, and it's a lot more controllable and you get a lot better job. Worth the investment. Even on something like this, if you buy the gun and throw it in the bin at the end, it's still worth the investment. What you just want to think about when you're putting your chalk lines on, you don't want to twang the centre of the timber, because if you do, once you put it up, you can't see your chalk marks. You want to be twanging the top edge or the bottom edge. So put your line on, then put your timber onto that line, but make sure that you work it out that your timbers are 400 apart to the centre of the timber. So I've measured up 3 inches to there, so then my timber will sit there like that, and the bottom will be about 1 inch off the wall, just to clear any bits of brackets, you know, these straps. So I've nailed a nail in there so I can hook the end of my string line on. I've made a mark over there, so now I was going to say get my twanger out. That's what I wanted to say, but it didn't sound right. So I'll get my string line out and give it a good twang. I'll just show you something else you've got to watch if you're on a scaffold like this. Obviously edge protection, and I haven't got any. But you can see where my scaffold boards overhang the bar there, the support. At this end, there are a lot more. If I was to stand on there, I'd just drop. This scaffold batten had come up, I'd be on the floor. Accidents always happen, and what I'm doing is not good, and I'm going to try and justify it, but it's not good and it's not right. I would say if you've lots of experience, you minimise the risk, but if it's your first time on a scaffold like this, you really need to be aware and do it properly, and just watch your scaffold board overhangs. And don't forget, being too long is not good, being too short is not good either. If they're only just on, forget it. I can't believe I'm trying to justify what I'm doing, but I'm sure you get the drift. So I've twanged my chalk line on, you can see, going down there. So then these will all sit in line with that chalk line there. Oh, you see all the way down. Can't do it one hand. But then you know your timbers are straight. But what I've got to remember to do, I've had to buy a load of packers to put behind all these, because they cut these down from 2x2, they're like 45mm and the insulation's 50mm. So I've had to buy some plastic packers to go behind the timber to bring it down to the right thickness. It's a bit of a buggeration, but it is what it is. Right, another thing which I need to, well, I don't need to show you, I'll just show you. Your boards come, well, 8x4 boards, 2.4 by 1.2. 1220. They used to be 1220, they're still 1220, can't remember. Right, so my first timber is going there, and then they're every 400 apart. So there's my centre, and I've just marked with the 2 lines where my batten goes, because I don't want to get my string lines, my chalk lines confused with the centre line. So because of where I'm stood, I will twang a line at the top of that batten, because when I hold the batten up here to nail it, I can see that line, and I don't want to get confused at the other end and hold it on the bottom or on the centre line, because otherwise my battens will be on the skew. I don't know if I'm explaining that right, but you just need to make sure you're stringing the right line at either end, and this works for me. Well, I hope you get that anyway. But what you've got to remember is your 400 centres don't start from the centre of that timber, they start from your wall, right? So this won't be 400, it'll be shorter. So you start your 400 from there, because if you come from here, by the time you put up a full board, you've got a gap here. And so you need to start off by cutting a board already. So just remember that. And if you don't remember it, be aware of it and YouTube it. As long as you know there's something you've got to do, you can research it, can't you? Rather than just set off wrong in the first place. I've got a little visitor sat on the end of my scaffolding. I don't know if you can see, little bird. Hello. Just got some suet pellets to see if I can feed it. Let's see. Set on my scaffolding. I don't want to bother him, but I want to get some off my scaffolding. I'll have to wait. Poor thing. But my door's wide open. So I've got my door protection on, look. It's only temporary, and it's like double twin skin cardboard, but it's plastic. You know, then if you're coming carrying something, or you just catch it, just saves it. Well, helps to save it. I've got some more there, which I'll use on the back of the door when I'm plastering. And when I'm plastering, I'm also going to get it's like massive sheets of cling film, but you put it all over your windows. It keeps all your windows clean and protected and everything else. When I was also on about putting packers behind the 2x2, because the 2x2 isn't real 2x2 anymore, it's smaller than 50mm. So what happens is, the 2x2 goes under there, and then the insulation sits between the 2x2. But if you look, the insulation is thicker than the 2x2. So when your plasterboards go up, they'll be sat against there, and then where you're fixed to, it won't be solid. All your fixings can pull through, and it's just not solid. So I've bought these packers. So the packers will sit underneath the joists, underneath the rafters, and then that will sit on there, and it brings it all right. So that's the plan, and I'm sticking with it. So that's one of my 2x2s cut to length. I didn't need to use a tape measure. All I had to do was just my saw bench, put it up against that wall there, and just cut it an inch shorter there, because that wall's plumb That one's plumb. So from right at the bottom, should be right at the top. So I need to cut 6 that length. Just make sure they're all butted up against that wall. Use that as my marker. Always use your same one as your marker, because what can sometimes happen, if you gain a bit on each one, over a period of time you can end up getting bigger and bigger. But if you use the same marker or the same template all the time, it should be right. Well, I didn't want to do that. You've got to make sure you put your packers in that way on the width of the timber, because if you go the other way and they're sticking out beyond the face of this, your insulation won't go back because it's going to be sitting on the packer, and you're either going to be brand new insulation in and smashing it to bits, or having to cut around all your packers. So you just want to make sure your packers are orientated, go the same, make sure your packers are facing the right way. I don't know if you remember as well when I bricked up my gas meter box, because I thought it looked not very good. The gable with the gas meter box, I thought it just spoke the look at the gable. I went on to a plan B. So I'm going to go onto a gas meter box, what you bury in the ground, bury it up to about there. You see, there you go. I've ordered it now and got it here, because I've got drains to go in at the front, I've got gas pipe and other bits of services. And I also want to think about getting a wheelchair past where this is going, just for future proofing, for a better word. So I got it here now so I can set everything out, because to get all my drains in, I've got some retaining walls to build around this. Yeah, so bloody one thing after the other. So yeah, that's going to enable me to set everything out. So I'm pleased that's come, and I think it'll look a lot better than what I did originally. Let me tell you about my gutters. So remember a couple of videos back I had problems with the gutter brackets, where I'd ordered the right ones according to the product description and the wrong ones were sent, and They were like 300 quid's worth of brackets because they're all powder coated black and they're quite nice. So they wanted me to return them, 39 quid, and also pay a restocking charge. And I said, trying to be fair, and I understood issues with the website, but you know, it wasn't all my fault. So trying to be fair, I said, look, I'll pay the return postage, the 39 quid. You don't charge me the restocking charge. Anyway, I'd been dealing with one bloke and he kept saying, no, I need to speak with Brett Michaels, and the rep is saying no, this restocking charge stands, which I thought was really unfair. So I opened a small claims court thing online, paid me 30 odd quid fee, filled it all in, all my evidence, all the emails which had gone between us, detailed what had happened. I'd taken screenshots of their website, and what happened while I was in discussions with this bloke, they changed the website and altered all the descriptions to make it better. Now, to me, why change it if there wasn't a problem? Anyway, I submitted that, and then the day after it arrived on Condell's inbox. Anyway, a lady was put on to deal with it. In minutes, they admitted 100% that it was their fault, and I got a full refund and all my costs back. And there were some nice pleasant emails between me and the lady. So I think the problem was the bloke I was dealing with, and I got them from a company called Condell's. And once this lady got involved, I really can't fault him, really. It was all done professionally, pleasant, really, really swiftly. Would I buy from them again? Yes, I would. But I'd be a bit more wiser next time, I think, if there was a problem, you know, who I dealt with. But no, it was all done to my satisfaction, and the courier came, they organised them to be picked up today, all the old brackets. So I agreed to place them because I wasn't going to be here during the day. So they got collected, they left me a note, so all well and good. So that's a big thumbs up from me. Oh, drainage as well. I've been pricing up the drainage for going round. Not all the drainage, because I know there's various bends. I want assorted bends and things like that. But the bulk of it, right? So I got running myself a tracker where I could monitor which companies give me the best prices and everything. The difference, the cheapest price I've had is £324, and the dearest one is 519, and that's all for exactly the same stuff. It just pays, just if you can spend a bit of time just to have that shop around, you know what I mean? Right, I'm going in now because bedtime. Very nearly. Very nearly. Well, another day, another dollar. Sunday today. I started at 6 this morning. It's 1:30, and I just can't be asked. So, truthful answer, I'm going to go do something different, as in do all my washing and bits of ironing, and just something different. So I've been trimming around the Velux window. Just need to make sure that when you're trimming around these, you get it in the right place. What there is, I don't know if you can see, there's a groove in that whiteboard, and your plasterboard's tuck up inside that. So you just want to make sure that these are all square with that groove, and your opening square so that everything looks square. So done that. I've got my flexi duct in for my roof vent. Did some foaming up. I've just got some more foaming up there I want to do. I took in a bit of insulation at the bottom. I've got all this is ready for my next batch of insulation. I was going to do it this afternoon, but I've done quite a few little odds and sods jobs in here this morning. I just don't fancy getting full of insulation just for a few hours. I want to do it for a day, so that'll be next weekend. So I've got that to do. And up here, I cleared all this side so that my scaffolding's there, and then it'll just whiz round, tuck in there, and I'll work my way along. I've split all my insulation down into 400 strips. That needs stripping, cutting again, but it's easier for me to handle a strip 400 wide on here than it is an 8x4 sheet. So they're all cut ready. These are all cut ready, these timbers to fit across there. Got them to do. All my rubbish, bits of rubbish there. Been thinking about all my drains. I've got my drains all worked out what I want, and I've been pricing them up. I think I said somewhere else, over £200 difference between companies. I know some use different makes and drains, but £200's £200, isn't it? So I need to think what I'm doing about that. But I've got a retaining wall I've got to build on 3 sides to get me up to the path levels. So I've got foundations to dig out and concrete and build these walls before I can start getting my drains in, because my drains are sort of like up in the air. So I need these walls in. But going under the foundation, I've got electric duct I need to get in, gas main I need to get in. Something else, I can't think. Oh, there's something else. Anyway, that's that. I've dug down and found my drainage connection down there, so I can work all my levels out. I'm just charging rotating laser up at the moment, and then I'll get some levels in after tea. Not today, I'll do it tomorrow. Just to let me know where I'm going. And I think that's about it, really. Yeah, so next weekend I'll carry on with insulation, and during the week I'll just potter and bugger about. Right, that's it. So I'm going to round this off now, and I'll go get a little video together. But oops, thank you very much for watching, and I appreciate everybody's comments and that lot and thoughts. So bye for now.